Hi everyone, it's Chris. Welcome back to another video. This is another favourite five. Today it's going to be The Jam, and so I've got favourite five albums by them, my favourite five singles by them, and my favourite album tracks from The Jam as well. So let's start with the albums, and I think in fifth place, this is an album that lots of people have in first place, so don't be upset, this is just my favourites, and it's pretty interchangeable, but this for me is definitely in fifth place, and it's Setting Suns, which was what, 78, 79? I like this album. I think there's a couple of singles that aren't on this album that would have really enhanced it. Strange Town, I think, is one of them that springs to mind. And I get the idea of not putting singles on, it rips fans off. I kind of get that. Eaton Rifles is on here, and I think that's the best song on here. Maybe Burning Sky. I think there are some good songs on here. Little Boy Soldiers, Private Hell, Go on the Phone. There's some great songs on here, and it's a pretty consistent album, but it's my number five. At number four, an album that's often kind of, I think, underrated. I think this is a brilliant album, and it's The Gift. I love this album. I saw them on this tour, and I thought they were tremendous. I saw them on the tour for Setting Suns as well, and I thought they were better for this. There's some great songs on here. Running on the Spot, Happy Together, Carnation, Who is the 5 O'Clock Hero, Ghosts. I think there's some great songs on here. Yes, it was signalling a kind of real change in direction, a change in sound, but and real kind of soul influence stuff. But I think it's a tremendous album, and that's my number four. At number three, again, this is really hard, but number three, I've gone with their debut. It's raw, it's jaggedy, it's angular, it's kind of quite abrasive, upbeat. I love it. Art School, Bricks and Mortar, In the City, Slow Down, Away from the Numbers. I think tremendous album. What a great debut, and it's right up there for me with the debuts of stuff like The Clash and The Damned, not the Pistols, but certainly it's in that kind of bracket, I think, as great punky debut albums. At number two, though, is All Mod Cons. And again, this on certain days, this can be my number one, in fact, but today it's my number two. David Watts, the Kinks cover is fantastic. The In Crowd, All Mod Cons, Billy Hunt, Fly, great. A-Bomb in Wardour Street and Down the Tube Station at Midnight are on here. I just think that's a brilliant album, really consistent, great songs, brilliantly produced, just sequenced really well. I love it. That's my second favourite Jam album. My favourite one today, and this varies because some days it's In the City and some days it's All Mod Cons, but today it's Sound Effects. I think this is again a brilliantly consistent album. In fact, I think it's their most consistent album on reflection. The most consistent. Pretty Green, Monday is great. I love Set the House Ablaze. I think that's really good. Start, that's entertainment. Man in the Corner Shop. I just think this is a tremendously consistent album. I think it was a number one album for them, and that's my favourite Jam album. So let's look at favourite five singles. There's slightly different feel to the singles, I think, because when I first got into the Jam is when they first arrived on the scene, and that particular era has a nostalgic feel for me. So at number five, The Modern World. The best song from this is The Modern World by a country mile, and it's just, again, that brilliantly kind of angular kind of sounds of the suburbs kind of single. I think it's fantastic, and that's my number five. At number four, from Sound Effects, that's Entertainment. It's got a brilliant melody to it. It's a great song. It's got a live version of Down the Tube Station at Midnight on the B-side, but I think That's Entertainment is a fantastic song. At number three, again, going back to their early days, a non-album track. Certainly here in the UK, it was a non-album track, and I bought it straight away, and I loved it ever since. All Around the World, Back with Carnaby Street. Fantastic song. Again, despite the appearance of the kind of mod look, it sounds very punky. It's, again, that angular kind of good riffing. It's a great song. Brilliant. It sounds angry. It's fantastic. Love it. Number two is a song that is just, I think it's a masterpiece, really, because it's got a cinematic kind of quality to it with the sound effects and the story and everything else. Down in the Tube Station at Midnight. I think this is just an awesome song. One of the highlights, if not the best song on All Mod Cons. It's just brilliant. And that's my second favourite Jam single. My favourite one is the first one I ever bought. I saw them on Top of the Pops, and I went out the next day to a little shop down in Poole called Setchfields, and I knew they'd have it, and they did, and I've had it ever since. In the City, brilliant. It's that punky kind of sound. I love seeing them on Top of the Pops, and just what a single, fantastic. That's my number 5. So let's look at my favourite 5 album tracks. Again, this varies quite a lot, but these are my favourite. So at number 5, I'm going to this album, and there's a song on here. It's the 3rd song on side 1, and it has a kind of a pub rocky Dr. Feelgood feel to it, and it's Slow Down. I think that song is brilliant. I love it. It's just it's such kind of good fun. As I said, it has that kind of pub rock feel to it, and kind of a bit of authentic kind of rhythm and blues almost, but it's brilliant. And that's my number 5, Slow Down. At number 4, going to this album, and the song is called Carnation. Wonderful melody, great song. I've always loved that song, always will, and that's my number 4 Jam song, Jam album track. At number 3 is a song from this album that I think should have been a single and would have been massive, and it's Man in the Corner Shop. What a wonderful song. Again, very, very quintessential Jam, brilliant melody, great lyrics, brilliantly performed, wonderfully produced, and that's my number 3 album tracks by the Jam, and that's Man in the Corner Shop. At number 2, we're going back to this album, The Gift. Love this album, and the opening track I think is again quintessential Jam. It's got a great melody, it's really up-tempo, Happy Together. I think it's tremendous, and that's my second favourite album track by the Jam. And my favourite album track by the Jam is actually my favourite track by the Jam, and it's the first one you would have heard if you just bought the first album and bought nothing else. It's the opening track to In the City, and it's Art School. It also featured on a Sounds sampler, Polydor sampler as well, which I didn't get until later on, but Art School by the Jam opens up this album, and is my favourite album track by the Jam, and actually is my favourite song by the Jam as well. So there you go, there's my favourite 5. What are yours? Tell me what you think of my choices, and tell me what yours are in the comments below, and I'm sure I'll be back sometime with another video. Cheers.